everyone. December is almost here. My goodness, how time flies. I don't know about you, but everything seems to have really amped up. Everything seems to just be flying by. It's like 1 minute we are November 1st and now we're at the end of November. So grab you a cup of coffee, cup of tea, and come on in because we've got some stuff to talk about. This video may be a little bit longer because I am going to run through some talking points, some things that have happened in November, some things that may be happening in December, and then kind of give you a little small taste of what's going to what kind of energy we're going to be sitting in for 2026. So we have a lot to talk about. I will probably still do maybe not an end of the year video. This December video is going to be December and end of the year video, kind of a wrap up completion, because that's where we're going into. We are completing a cycle here. So this is going to be kind of two videos in one, I think. Doesn't mean that I won't come back on and give you some more information later on in December, but we will just have to see what happens. So I did pull a couple of cards just for the end of November, and I got Mirror, The World is a Mirror, Notice Patterns and Clear Blocks, which is exactly what I'm going to talk about. This is also, to me, a Gemini card, and we're going to talk about that too. And the other card I received was Growth, and it is Surrender to the Process, Simplify Your Healing, and this is Layers. So I did go ahead and pull those cards. I have not pulled any other cards yet. I will pull those in just a few minutes. But my talking points that I really want to jump into, because we are sitting in, well, we've been sitting in this month in completion energy. This is a 9-year. So we are really bringing in these cycles, and it has been very emotional. We have been sitting in Scorpio energy for the last week or so, and you had, I believe, the Sun, Moon, and Jupiter, or one of those planets, all in Scorpio. So we were feeling the heaviness, we were feeling the emotions, and our bodies this month and part of next month will really be working through emotions. So a lot of times what happens is we will have an emotion and we try to logically deal with it and we feel that we've dealt with it. However, what generally happens is that emotion will stay in your body until you physically release that. So 2025 has been building up to that. So any emotions that you have had in 2025 and before 2025, especially some of the light walkers who are really here to teach, who are to bring in new information, who are anchoring the light for this new energy this new frequency that we are moving in. We are being shaken to the core. I actually woke up this morning with a phrase in my mind, and it's Spirit said, "We are shaking you right to the bone." Shaking you right to the bone. And it made me think of these emotions and everything that's been going on. And it's like they are dislodging any minute emotion that you've been carrying, because we cannot take it with us, especially a lot of us that are really fixing to go into doing a lot of light work. We can't take any of it with us. So if you are feeling the flames, if you are feeling these emotions just almost overtaking your brain, overtaking your entire body, this is a closing cycle. So it's not chaos in your body. It's actually, you are feeling, it's actually closure. Let me say this though. You must slow down, and you must go within, and you really have to be very honest with yourself, and you're going to really have to do this work. If you have waited and you have just shoved it off, you've just left it sitting back there, oh, I'm fine, nothing's wrong. If you tend to be answering things with I'm fine, or, stuff happens, blah, 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 that's fine if you want to say that to other people. But if you have not gone in and actually worked through these emotions and worked through what's going on, it is going to you're going to create your own chaos for next year. Just being completely honest. You have to do the work. You really have to do the work here. It's a completion. Completion has its own frequency. It almost feels chaotic. You may wake up and you are in a beautiful mood, and then all of a sudden you start feeling energies pouring in. You start feeling this stuff. Oh, wait a minute. I only did part of that work. I didn't go through the whole thing. So what a lot of us, I've noticed, are going through is we are really going back to our childhoods. We're going back and seeing people's habits, seeing people's behaviors, and we are noticing that, and we are changing it. It stops with us. I don't know how many times I have said that this year. Nope, that stops with me. They may have done this in the past. They may have acted this way, but no, it stops with me. So if you are having this happen, and with the holidays coming up, know that it's going to be a little crazy during the holiday season. There's going to be some passive aggressiveness. There's going to be some Mars energy there. So if you have a feeling that the holiday will be more stress than it will be joy with certain family members or certain people, I would set that boundary now, and I would go ahead and step out of that, because it's not going to change. If they have been doing this their whole life, and they have been treating people a certain way, they have been talking to people a certain way, and you have set your boundaries, and you are still getting that same energy, I would walk away. Set your boundary. Just because they're family, or just because they have been in your life a certain amount of time, does not mean that they can move with you into the new frequencies that you're going into. Many things are changing, things are completing, and a lot of us will not be able to take people with us. So, I know, very honest, very upfront, but that is what we're sitting in. So, highlights for December. We have embrace change. You're going to need to uncover parts of you that you have neglected. Release, let go, and shed old dying layers, because we are leaving the snake year. So, shedding everything. People, places, things, emotions, anything in your home. Shedding all of it. Set new intentions and take actionable steps to manifest new goals. I feel like 2025, we had a lot of ideas, we had a lot of things that we wanted to do, but we really wasn't quite sure. Now is going to be the time that you start to take those small steps forward. We can sit there and be inspired all day. We can sit there and go, yes, this is what I want to do, or I don't know, or this or that. Well, guess what? If you want anything to change in your life, you got to take a step forward. Complete honesty here. You have to take a step forward. You can always change and pivot. You can always move in a different direction. But you got to at least try something, okay? You can't just sit there. You can, but if you do, nothing's going to change, right? Set boundaries. Your boundaries, especially my light workers, my light walkers, your boundaries are going to have to be here. Walking away from anything that does not bring you joy, peace, or happiness, any type of joy. Walk away from all of it. So know that that's going to be huge in December to move you into the new year. New boundaries, new slower pace schedules. Remember, the snake year for December, or for 2025, was your internal world. So if your internal world was just spun and you didn't know what to do with it, and you had emotions and things and people and everything flying everywhere, well, that's the snake year. But it gave you inspiration to move. The snake year would rule the heart, lungs, and the nervous system. So many of us had to do a lot of work physically on ourselves to really get our nervous system healthy. Many of you, I would imagine, was probably getting off a lot of pharmaceuticals, maybe changing the way you eat, your diet, your schedule, everything. You are starting to realize in the snake year, the completion year, that we are not separate from anything. We are not separate from source, and our body, mind, and spirit are not separate. They work in tandem. Shedding everything, yearning to transform your inner world. So that has been huge for me, I know, this year. Changing my inner world, stopping certain things and certain people from taking my energy, from sitting in my energy and there's no give and take. Really looking at relationships, looking at how I can be completely sovereign, how I can do my work, reach more people, but in my unique way. Really trying to take the pressure off of being a certain way or putting things out there in a certain way. Really just trusting my gut and my intuition 1000%. If I feel it, it's happening. If I feel it, yes. This, that. There's no in between. And acting on those things. So really stopped explaining myself so much. If people want to misunderstand you, if they want to create chaos, if they want you to stay in a certain box, then I'm going to let them do that, because I'm going to keep doing me. I'm going to keep working on me. I'm going to keep elevating me, and those who want to be around me will gravitate towards that. So that is really what 2025 is and what we've been doing. And so we are fixing to move into the year of the horse, the fire horse. So it's going to be transformation, integration from everything that you've learned, and not just everything you've learned from 2025. Probably everything you've learned. It could go all the way back to childhood, because you are changing those patterns. And if you haven't looked at that and you haven't changed those patterns, then that will be huge for you in December and for the rest of next year. Now, the ones of us who have really been working on that and have seen these patterns and are saying, nope, stops with me, then you are going to be moving into the integration part. You'll be moving into the movement part. This fire horse energy is going to be big energy. Think horsepower, more horsepower. This is actually going to be a joyful year. However, I will say that towards the end of December and moving into January, I do see a big push for almost taking all the challenges that have come up, or all the challenges. Maybe you've had kind of a year, not too much has happened. You may see all of those challenges culminate into one big energy, because what happens is when that snake energy tries to leave and that horse energy comes in, there's going to be almost a big bang. So if you are, if there's some challenges that you're like, 2025 hadn't been all that bad, it's very possible that you feel that big bang energy. And remember, when we feel that, if it doesn't happen to you individually, watch it out into the world, watch it out into the media, watch it into your financial systems, your internet, your new technologies. Watch big bang energy. Okay, so I feel like that's really going to come into place. So travel is really going to change. Money, like I said, think horsepower. There's going to be a whole lot of more movement. So in 2025, I would imagine that a lot of you were like, I don't know if I want to change jobs. I don't know if I should move. Some of you have already moved. But December, it's going to get very frustrating and very uncomfortable at your job, because you're going to realize that this is not what I want to do. So luckily, 2026, that fire horse energy, that movement is going to really give you some momentum. It's going to start bringing up new jobs. You're going to start seeing that money flow easier. 2026 will be all about being true to your heart. So if it's not a hell yes, say no to it. That's going to be big for 2026. Okay? So lots of stuff happening, lots of highlights. I will say December for the most part will be pretty good. Will be pretty joyful. It will be a lot of saying no to things though. So December may be a big test for you. You may have opportunities to come up, and it, like I said, if it's a I don't know, say no to it, because other opportunities will come up, I promise you. Okay. We do have a full moon coming up on December 4th. It's going to be in Gemini. Then on the December 12th, December 19th, we have a new moon in Sagittarius. Feelings, a low self-esteem could come up during that new moon. So I would really pay attention to your energy. Maybe stay inside. Winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, comes in December of 21. Happy Yule, Merry Christmas. I do suggest there's going to be some momentary bumps in the road here towards the week of Christmas and into the end of December, so around the 31st. New Year's Eve will start to get a little bit more gentler, but if you have a offer to maybe do just close friends, maybe stay at home, do some type of house party, kind of low-key, that may be the best way to go for this year, and really around people that you really want to be around, because we still have that passive-aggressive, bogged down kind of rut energy sitting there. So the holidays can be beautiful, but you're going to have to set that tone. You're going to have to set that energy, and don't allow those people that you know are going to come in as Eeyore, or you know is going to come in all upset about nothing. You're going to really have to manage that. Really will. So those are our highlights. So normally I pull a few cards and I already have them pulled, but I thought I'd do something a little different. So what I'd like to do is pull for December, and I'd like to pull 4 or 5 cards. Yeah, let me pull 4 or 5 cards, like one for each week, to see kind of what we're sitting in, and see if there's anything else. I'm going to take that card. Anything else that Spirit needs us to know. And I do have 2 or 3 decks, so I may change decks. Let's just see how Spirit feels here. Okay, 2 cards came out with that one. I will keep both of those and take one of these. That one. And this one. And let me pull one other card. Is there anything else we need to know about December? I'm not getting anything here. Okay, let me ask, is there anything I need to know about the 1st of January? Is there anything we need to know about the 1st of January. This feels like a newness here. Let's see what we get. Anything we need to know about January? Oh, this one. And is there anything else we need to know about the beginning of January? Anything we need to know? Anything else we need to know about the beginning of January? Anything else we need to know about the beginning of January? I'm not getting anything about this. Let me try this one. Anything we need to know about the beginning of January? Nothing there. Anything we need to know about the beginning of January? Anything we need to know about the beginning of January? There it is. All right. So let's see what we got. These are my January cards. Interesting. All right. So our first card that we received was Northeast Mountain Wind. These are beginnings. So guided by your vision. Guided by your vision. So we already pulled for the end of January, the end of November, and we got growth and we got mirror. So if we are growing in November and we are looking at habits, looking at other people's habits, how they treat us, this is a new beginning. This is a new frequency. Many of you are going to start moving into a higher vibrational energy. If you work with spirit, you will most likely start to get new guides and new team members that will try to help you to elevate your frequency and to work in a higher master type vibration is what I am getting from this. This feels creation. This feels spark. This feels new. Our second card that we got is Destiny. Destiny. Trust divine timing. So many things that have happened in 2025, you may not have gotten all the information yet, okay? What I'm feeling on this is that for me personally, I have gotten a lot of information from Spirit, and I've been asked to move in certain ways. I've been asked to pull my energy back from certain people. I've been asked to hone in on my skills, hone in on the way I work, and they're having me to work differently. And so for me, this card means trust the divine timing, because a lot of times Spirit doesn't give you the whole picture. They ask you to take a step and they ask you to trust them. And so I have been doing that. However, I will say that because, well, not just because I work in compassion, but for me personally, it has been very difficult to step back from certain things, certain people, certain energies. And I feel guilty a lot of times, because when I go all in on people, when you're in my life, I go all in. There's no in between. And so sometimes when I have to step back, I'm sure that feels, well, I know for me, it feels very, sometimes lonely. It feels like I've abandoned other people. But what Spirit's really been trying to get me to understand is it's not that I'm abandoning other people. I've been abandoning myself. And so I cannot feel guilty about these things, because it takes two for any type of relationship. And so if I remove my energy and they do not step forward and go, hey, what's going on? Or, hey, how can I help? Or what can I do? Or this or that. Then Spirit's trying to get me to understand that maybe it wasn't the best relationship to begin with. Maybe there were lessons or just certain things that each of us had to learn, and maybe that's over with. Or maybe we start a whole new relationship. But it will take two to be able to start a whole new relationship, right? So, destiny, trust your divine timing, trust your life, and trust God. Trust what Spirit is giving you. Trust your gut, trust your intuition. That's going to be big. Next card is nourishment. Take time to replenish. This is something else that you're going to be doing in December. I am doing this now. We have a couple of classes in December, and then I am taking the rest of the year off. So I'm going to take a good 2 to 3 weeks off. So this is going to be huge in December. If you do not take time for yourself in December and really work and rest and just nourish yourself, you are not going to feel good in January. It's going to be like a rat race, and you're going to be going, oh, what did I do? So please nourish yourself. Please rest. Please take time for yourself, okay? Our last 2 cards for December are Delphi. Delphi, love. 9, 10. Oh, this is a 29 card, which for me would be an 11. To me, this is a huge gateway. So, 2 things on this. If you have been looking for love, it could possibly, there could be a gateway, there could be a door open here. But if you'll notice, this female is standing front and center. So for me, this means specifically, and I find this interesting because the second card, both of these cards came out, and they're both 11 cards. So this card is Aquarius, and it's ecstasy. Ecstasy. So to me, this is going to be all about you really stepping into your own, really stepping into your power, and really taking your feminine and masculine energies and intertwining them. Sitting in love. The more you sit in love energy, the more opportunities will come your way, and will really start to change things. So it's very possible that if you've been working on yourself, that you start to bring in love interests that are more aligned with your new frequency. If you have not been doing that, be very careful during this time, because you may bring in ecstasy. You may have a really good time with this person, but it may not be for you. This is where nourishment, trusting divine timing, and really using your foresight, your intuition, and asking questions. That's going to be big, okay? So, let me see. Anything else? So I'm also seeing in this card, to me, this feels like light codes. So it feels like you are really going to start opening up. You're really going to start feeling ecstasy in different ways. So if you have really been working on yourself, boundaries, changing the way you work, getting ready for new things to come, then you are going to start feeling this. You're going to start feeling this ecstasy. You're going to start feeling and loving everything that you're doing. So this is going to be a pivotal month for you, especially towards the end of the month. You're really going to start to feel that momentum coming in, really start feeling that horsepower, and you're really going to start coming into your own. So don't be surprised if people go, "Oh my God, you've changed," or so you just say no now. Yes, I will. Yes, I am. So this is going to be huge, okay? All right, now I went ahead and I asked the cards for 2 cards for the 1st of January. We got Karma, untying the knots. Karma, untying the knots. So this is very tree of life, Kabbalah kind of feel to me. This feels like many of you have cut ties. Many of you have cut cords. You've starting to become very sovereign. And a lot of the contracts that you originally signed up for with certain people are actually closing out. So don't be surprised if you almost feel like a complete cut and you almost like don't even know this person anymore. They're completely different and you just start to get to know them again, or they just move out of your life. They're just gone. Don't be surprised because the contracts that were there have been completed. Now, it could be that it's completed because you learned something and it's done, or that it is causing too much distress and one person has moved to a higher vibration and another person is just kind of sitting over here not quite sure what they want to do yet. And so if it is causing huge distress on a certain frequency within you and you've worked through these things, then it's very possible that Spirit goes ahead and cuts that contract, burns it up. So I think there's a lot of contract work that's going to be going on in 2026. So if you have questions about that, or maybe you're wanting to learn how to cut ties, energetic ties is what I mean, contact me because we could definitely work on that. We could do a reading with that. And the first week or the first few weeks of January is going to be balance. Moderate your actions. Balance. I also see we have had a lot of solar energy, and this is what this card really feels like to me. This is solar energy, and this is the earth reacting to that solar energy that we've had. We've had a lot of solar flares, so lots of volcanoes going off around the world. With that fire horse energy coming in, don't be surprised if there are just explosions. Don't be surprised if there are, it's going to be a lot of fiery energy. So earthquakes, volcanoes. A lot of times when we move from one energy into a new energy, like we are going from the snake to the horse, it is very possible that we see a bunch of emotions, and a lot of times emotions is water. So watch out for storms popping up all of a sudden. As I look out the window, there are actually very, very dark clouds, so that's very interesting. Don't be surprised if we have a lot of lightning in certain places, or all of a sudden there's this Arctic air that comes in and freezes everything. And then, 2 days, 3 days later, we are completely in 80-degree weather. There's going to be huge swings because we are moving from one energy to another energy. And a lot of times they do really come in with a bang. Okay, and you could feel that for several weeks. So you're going to probably start feeling it now, and it's really going to push its way in. And a lot of times it can take until like February to come in. So the next 3 months are going to be pivotal. Next 3 months, you're really going to have to pay attention to what's going on. We are fixing to come out of retrograde. We still have it for a few more days. So we are going to be still kind of in that dazed and confused. But you're going to start seeing that horse energy. You're going to start seeing that movement. So try not to place too much emphasis on that, okay? There's going to be a lot going on here. Yeah, I think that feels about right for everything. I'm not feeling anything. I don't feel like I've left anything out per se. I do feel like a lot of us are going to be working with more cosmic energy. So be ready for that. Please watch the media. Watch what you're watching. Anything that you're putting in your body, anything that's coming through your eyes, senses, ears, anything that's coming through the 5, 6, 7, 12 senses. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Be very careful. Really watch your energy, manage your energy. Some have said, oh, I always maintain my energy. I don't feel anything. Everything's good. And then all of a sudden they're like, I don't feel right. So I want you to, if you are always like, yeah, everything's fine, nothing can get in, I want you to really pay attention to that this month, because many of you will be tested. Many of you will be like, okay, if you want to move to this new energy, are you recognizing the energies that are around you? And this could be physical energies around you, could also be spiritual energies, and different things, different entities, different things coming in. So be sure that you have boundaries, not only with physical people, spiritual people. Make sure that your team is solid. Make sure that you do not have looky-loos and all kinds of stuff. And if you work in the energy that I work in, or if you work with spirit at all, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't worry about it. Just pray and use your intuition, okay? If you have questions about these things, please contact me. I am happy to do a reading or do some type of intuitive coaching and work with you on these things individually. Any type of energetic work that you do, Reiki, healing modalities, massage, any of those things, remember that you can work. When you work in other people's energies, you need to make sure that your energy is clean, clear, and of the highest vibration. If you're struggling and you need some help, let me know. I'm happy to help, okay? I think that's about it for now. I will try to do some new in-person workshops next year, so I will try to get some of that together. If you are interested and want to get on my email list for these workshops that I will be doing in person, if you are near me, let me know. I will put you on that. I think that's about it for December and starting in January. So lots of energy, lots of good energy, and we have a lot of stuff coming up. So enjoy, work on the things you need to work on, try to slow down, take your schedule down, and try to be as slow as you possibly can, and really be present, really be observant, and really pay attention to what's going on, okay? All right. That's going to be the end of the video. If you want to stay for a couple of card pulls, I will do that next, okay? So I am going to put some of these cards away. These go over here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Alright, so give me just a second to grab some other cards here. For those of you staying for the card pulls, let me ask. Right. So the theme, let me see what they want me to do. So the theme for this card pull is going to be growing pains, because it fell out as soon as I grabbed this deck, okay? I really enjoyed doing the theme and then something new that they gave me. Okay, I'm going to do 2 card pulls today. So card pile number 1. Card pile number 1. This is for you. Like I said, card that came out, our theme is going to be growing pains. Which is not always a bad thing. Sometimes growing pains are really good. It really gets you in tune with your mind and your body, and it's not always a bad thing. Okay. 2 seconds. These cards are jumping out. Okay, these fell out first. This one, this one, this one. Alright, growing pains is our theme. I love these bird cards. All right, let's see what else we got here. I don't know why some of my deck is turned, but it is. Okay. All right. So, I'm actually going to start at the end here because I feel like that's where we're at. So we have Valley of the Quest. For whoever this is for, it feels like you have really been... Okay, let me go back because they're giving me a lot. Hold on. So this feels like a year reading for me, okay? So whoever this is for this year, you have gone, Spirit has taken you into a quest. They have taken you into a spiritual quest, a physical quest, a learning quest, and it feels like you're sitting on two sides. One, you're grasping because you want what you had, and then the other is Spirit's like, but you're going to be more happy if you just stop grasping at what you had, because we are bringing contentment, we are bringing something new, we are bringing sovereignty, but you have to stop grasping so that we can do what we need to do. We have Valley of Unity. Spirit's trying to say, look, we're here. We've got people around you. You have helpers. But you're still taking old energy and filtering it through the new messages that you're receiving. Interesting. They're trying to remind you that you are the architect of your life. You have to surrender. Know that even if you have to make decisions that you don't understand yet, but Spirit, it's 100% accurate and you know that. And Spirit's like, yes, you have to do this. You have to walk away, or you have to change the way you talk to people. You have to change this, or you have to change something within. Maybe it's a health habit. Maybe it's what you consume. They're asking you to surrender so that you can take this new energy and this new perspective for the messages that they want to give you. But because you're still sitting in the old energy, they can't find you. So it would be, how they're showing it to me is if you were, this is interesting. So if you are in a band and you say you play, I used to play clarinet. Say you play clarinet and you have been practicing, but what you've been practicing isn't what the teacher really wants you to practice. So you're still sitting down here practicing last year's stuff, and the first chair, they've made first chair, but you want first chair, but it's because they're practicing all the new stuff. They are moving into a new energy and you haven't. And so they're like, you're over here going, why me? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? But it's because you're still sitting in the old energy. And you have to realize that what you bring to the table is completely different than what anybody else brings to the table. It's not going to look the same, not going to taste the same, not going to feel the same. It's going to be your unique way of doing things. So you really have to pay attention. You have to surrender, and you have to stop grasping for the old. The old is gone. It no longer exists. So they're trying to give you guidance. You have a community around you, but you're refusing to use it because you're still grasping at the old energy, okay? So there are people that will help you, but you have to ask for help. There are people that would love to help you and love to guide you, but you have to ask for it, because if you don't ask for it, then you're still going to be sitting and grasping and going on this quest by yourself, and you're trying to figure out where to go, and it just keeps making you almost more angry. It's growing pains. So wow, this is an interesting this is very interesting reading. So this is almost like a full year reading. That's kind of cool. So I guess Spirit is trying to say, look, work on these next 3 or 4 months. Work on letting go of this old energy and really honing in your specific skills, how you do things. Learn how to maybe do some new skills. Maybe there's something out there that you haven't learned how to do yet. So maybe you're wanting to go into astrology. Maybe you're wanting to go into more circle work. Maybe you want to do some in-person things. Maybe you're wanting to do some type of reading that's completely different than what someone else offers. Maybe it's animal readings. Maybe it's Akashic Records readings. Maybe it's something, I don't know, something out there that you have not discovered yet. Or maybe you have a little bit of an interest in it, but you're like, I don't know if I want to do that. Start looking into that. Stop grasping at the old and start looking at some new things. Maybe you want to work more in earth energies and you're really wanting to hone in on that. Maybe you're wanting to go really deep into your shaman work. Maybe you feel like you've just scratched the surface. Maybe you really want to travel and work with an actual shaman. Work with him for a few weeks. Work with him for a few months. Maybe there's, I don't know, there's something there. Maybe you're going to want to work in sound. Maybe gongs are something that you're really starting to work in the frequency of sound. There's something new here that you haven't seen yet. So please be open to that. Surrender and start looking for new things that you can bring to the table here. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm getting. All right, let's put these back. I always try to put them in different places so we don't pull them again. Although we still end up sometimes the readings are similar. Like I said, I'm only doing 2 readings today because these feel like full year readings. All right, so this is for whoever chose card pile number 2. Card pile number 2. What do they need to know? Oh, there's our theme. They're wanting me to shuffle this one good. Okay, tell me to stop. Oh, our theme is multiplicity. Okay. Ooh, we got the grasping card again. So our theme, multiplicity. Let me see what else we have. Okay. All right, so I think I'm going to start at the end again. Okay, so our first card is withdrawal. It seems that you've kind of stepped back. Maybe you have learned how to allow people to have their own emotions and you not jump into them. You've maybe started to understand that you can allow someone to blow up and you can just still sit in your energy and allow that to happen. And then instead of just reacting, you are starting to actually respond. So this year you've learned a lot. There is still some grasping on your part, so you tend to go in between grasping and love, which is normal when you are changing habits and changing the way your brain works and rewiring yourself, okay? So this is not a bad thing. It feels like we have Valley of the Quest again. So you've really gone on a quest this year, and this feels not just this isn't just a spiritual quest. This feels like a full life makeover quest type thing. And so you are not allowing domination in your life. You're really seeing people for who they are, and you're starting to really go, okay, I have to forgive the person that I was, and I have to forgive the things that I allowed because you either didn't want to make waves or because you didn't realize that you learned it from your parents. You didn't realize that there was a pattern here. And so you've really worked on these patterns, and you've really Valley of Knowledge. You've really learned some things, not just from people around you, from spirit. You've read books, you've taken courses, you have really tried to learn how to communicate better, and then you've also learned, like I was talking about in the report, how I've learned how to just step back and stop explaining myself. Because if people are going to misunderstand you, they're going to misunderstand you, whether you say 5 words or 100. So I've really learned that. That is what this feels like, that you've really tried to learn these things. So multiplicity, you're really looking at all areas of your life. There's been a lot of achievement this year. However, you often feel like one place that you haven't really achieved a lot yet is partnerships. So to me, whoever this is for, and this could be 2 or 3 readings in one. So what I mean by that is I feel like I'm pulling on different people's energies. And so, some of this may resonate, but some of it may not. So take what does and what doesn't. Take what does resonate, and then discard the rest. So for me, it feels like there's a partnership that you have been in for quite a long time, you don't want to get rid of, but there's still nervousness, there's still trepidation, there's still you are up here in the light, and they are still down here dealing with their demons, dealing with their old habits, their old energies, and you are asking them, because you see, part of them are lighting up. So you've asked them to meet you up here. I wouldn't be surprised if you even asked them to, hey, okay, you've done this habit again. I've asked you not to, and now if you want to be in a relationship to me, you basically have to write me a contract. And this could be paper, this could be it could be like, hey, yeah, it's going to have to be like this. You've seen many people do, what are they called? What is the legal papers to, like, whatever you have brought into the marriage, that is yours. Those are your assets. And a lot of times it's money-wise, but a lot of people actually write in certain things in a marriage. So if there has been infidelity, if there has been financial infidelity, if it has been certain things, like maybe it's alcohol problems, drug problems, any of those, gambling problems, that sort of thing is what I'm seeing. If this is coming back up for your partner, then this is going to be a huge time for that person to figure out what they want, because you are up here. You are rising above. You have withdrawn, and you know how much better it can be. And you have really multiplied everything in your life. The way you work, the way you eat, the way you think. You are doing the work. So now it's time for your partner to do the work. If your partner is not doing the work, it is very possible that there is a split that happens. If transformation does not come, then there will be a split. So it could be a split in assets, it could be a complete split, divorce, or it could be a split where there are things that you decide that you're okay with, but just know that if this doesn't get fixed, you will go back into trepidation and domination. These things will continue to override your life until you make that decision. So this is not just a one-person decision here. I feel like this is a couple's decision. And if both couples cannot work together on this, it's going to cause a lot of anxiety, a lot of frustration, anger, and eventually resentment. So there's going to have to be a lot of things that happen this year for you both to be in this energy. Okay. But I feel like it can absolutely be done. But both parties have to work here. Both parties have to work very hard. It's kind of an interesting reading, isn't it? Okay. Well, I am going to pull one more card for everybody. This card will be for everyone. Card right there. Ooh, there's actually two. Haha. Okay, so we have, Metatron Rainbow Bridge. Always open. Rainbow Bridge. And, Kundalini. Untapped Energy. Untapped Energy. So it's kind of interesting. We've got the bridge, the Rainbow Bridge. It's always open. So we just talked about partnership. We just talked about maybe changing some things. And so know that the bridge is there for you, but you both have to step on it. So that bridge is always open. It just depends on who wants to jump on it. And then we also talked about starting something new. What's out there that you've really wanted to do, but you haven't done, and or maybe there's something that you haven't discovered yet that you're wanting to do, and that is going to come up for you in January. Maybe December, but probably more January, February. This feels like 3 months type energy. So there's some untapped energy that you're not using here. So start working. Start looking, start really working with your inner energy, your frequency, how you do things. Start bringing joy into your life. Start really looking at all of your relationships. Start looking at how you respond to people, that sort of thing. And you start making those interchanges, and all of this stuff will really start to manifest for you. It's going to be movement forward. So have a wonderful rest of your November. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone in the U.S. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy Hanukkah. All the holidays. I'm sure I missed a bunch of them. Happy Yule. Happy Winter Solstice. Thank you for a beautiful and wonderful year. I am so grateful for all of you. I'm so grateful for anyone and everyone who watches these videos, and I hope that I give you a little bit of hope, a little bit of faith, and a little bit of energy, a little bit of information to really help you through the month or through the year. I will be doing some new types of readings next year. Please contact me about those. And I will be doing some more Reiki classes, doing some intermediate and advanced classes. So these will most likely be in person. However, if you do want to work with me personally, I am happy to take these classes and move them into more of a intuitive coaching type private session with you. So let me know. Have a wonderful, wonderful end of the year, and I will see you all next year. All right.